Hello, everyone. Kimberly Spreen showered. Reena, we're not sure about. Todd, we know he hasn't. Look at that outfit. But we are pleased. And yes, I'm wearing a little suit jacket, but I am still wearing my little outdoor hiking boots. So welcome to the webinar. I'm Sara Kooperman. I'm the CEO of SCW, all in one breath. I want you please to move your mouse if you would. I haven't led a webinar in like a week and a half. It's like craziness. You're going to see at the bottom of your screen a green share screen button. Go to the left, that's your chat box. Please, if you would, just open the chat box, type in, if you would, just type in your name, where you're from. We'd love, it's like 2021. We're very excited to have you guys here. Look, Kimberly Glick typed in. That's great. So I'm just thrilled to have you guys. We got Millie from Sacramento, California, Shannon from Belleville, Kansas, Ohio, Florida. We got people from all over the country, and we may have people from all over the world. Very cool. Another one, oh, Alabama, Wisconsin, Kansas, New Jersey, Washington, D.C., Michigan, Los Angeles. Another one from Florida. What is with Florida? Okay, I live in Chicago. It's gray, and it was 32 degrees today. We got a couple people. And Massachusetts. All right, I am just thrilled to have you guys here. I've got some amazing panelists. We're going to be talking about the mentors you need in 2021. We always get on like at 5:30 in Central Time before the webinar begins. And I get to talk to these people. It was like I had personal therapy for just the past 25 minutes. It was fabulous. We have Kimberly Spreen-Glick. She's got 3 names. We don't really want to know why. She has over 25 years of experience teaching fitness and yoga, as well as professional and personal development. She served as the Senior Director of Group Fitness for Lifetime Fitness for over a decade and survived. Amazing. She also is an IDEA Program Director of the Year award recipient. She is the founder of The Inspired Life, which I find very inspiring. It's amazing. And we are blessed to have Kimberly. She's also going to be developing a life coaching certification for us. She's just being so creative all the way around. We have Reena, and I'm going to get this.
Remember ice cream. Remember
Ice cream.
cream?
Vokoun.
Vokoun.
Vokoun, like snow cone. Okay.
Yes.
And you have to go to her website. Her website is passionfit.com. She's got an amazing video on it that I watched this afternoon. Very inspirational. She's an entrepreneur. She's a writer, a public speaker, a content creator, a media spokesperson, a certified health and wellness expert through ACE and AFAA. So she's a certified fitness professional and an entrepreneur, and she always says, and a wife and mother, and an amazing mentor and coach. So welcome, Reena, like snow cone. Both. And we have Todd Durkin, who next time he comes on, he will be required to shower, but it's fine. We'll have it.
It's working out. We got to work out.
He's an internationally recognized strength, speed, and conditioning coach, personal trainer, body worker, motivational speaker, and author who motivates, educates, and inspires people worldwide. I heard him speak at IDEA. Oh my God, he's amazing. He has the Todd Durkin Impact Show, which is his podcast, which you guys should listen to. And he wrote a book, and it's already out. It's already out on Amazon. Get Your Mind Right, which, yes, there we go. So we're talking about being mentors, and 2021, you know, we all thought this was going to be over by Easter. At least they told us that like last year. And then we thought it'd be over by the end of the summer. And then we thought it would be over by the end of the year. And we're going to have 9 more months of this stuff. But this year promises to be a very different year than the one we left behind. With the landscape forever changed by the pandemic, who are the mentors that we need to make 2021 the best year that it can be? The huge boom in personal marketing, like we all became our own marketing companies, it left some fitness pros in the dust. And I think it also, we have more time. We have more time to think about what we want, where we're going. You know, can we write that book? Can we do what we want to do? Find out how having a mentor standing behind you can make all the difference in your career and personal success. And what I was so inspired by these people is why has having a mentor in your life become more important in the last year? Don't know. You made noise, Todd, so you're starting.
I'm starting.
You
Well,
grunted. I heard you.
Thanks, Sarah. Great introductions. And I would just say this. Since I've been in high school, I've had mentors. I've had coaches. I've had mentors in many different areas of my life, business, spiritual mentors, just on personal growth and development. But the last year, obviously, the landscape has changed so quickly in the fitness business space. And it's been a roller coaster, and it hasn't been pretty. There's a lot of businesses that have been hit hard. Some have closed. Over the next 3 to 6 months, there's going to be increased challenges within our industry. So number one, it's about survival and position yourself so that we can ultimately come out on the other side and serve this world who's going to so desperately need it more than ever before. So the mentors, those who are leading in this industry, certainly are going to be able to add wisdom and counsel on many different areas, business, spiritual aspects of growth and balancing out. I would just say people right now, I'm sure you all can agree, people are more empty and lost, down, anxious, depressed than ever before. And whether you're a fit pro or not, some people think that we're immune to these emotions, but truly, and I've got a big staff at Fitness Quest 10, guys, it's all over the place. So I, as a leader, as a mentor to my own team and in my mastermind group, have to lead myself first before I can lead my team and those who I'm mentoring as well. So we've got to lean into our mentors, and whoever your mentors are. I know Reena and Kim are going to talk about this along with yourself, Sarah. We've got I see other mentorees and mentors who are joining in. Thank you very much, because everyone on this call, if you're attending it, is a mentor to someone, whether it be a son or daughter, whether it be a client or a member, whether it be a fellow fitness professional. So this is very important time that we have people we can lean in on and have an ear real quick. You pick up the phone, you call your mentor. Hey, I just had it the other day. Hey, I've got to have a COVID-19 talk with someone who popped positive. What should I do? And I'm being an ear, and I'm giving my wisdom because of my experience of the last 9-10 months as well.
Yeah. Reena, you're nodding. And
Yeah, I mean, I wholeheartedly agree with what Todd is saying. I think it's interesting too, because the health and fitness industry has been one of the industries that has suffered the most through this pandemic. Yet we need to take care of our health and wellness more than ever before, mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. And so I do think that having a mentor is important, because we do need to keep this industry alive. We need to keep ourselves going and motivating so that we can help others. And I think that in this industry, we all come from different skills and backgrounds. I mean, I have a business and technology and marketing background, but I'm also trained in health and wellness. I know some people have more of a science or physiology based background. And so if you are lacking in any sort of skills, whether it be marketing or technology, which are two things that are really critical because our whole health and fitness industry has moved to virtual, having a mentor can really help you to understand how to do it. How can you get yourself online? How can you create that personal brand, as you were talking about, Sarah, because it's not just about your company brand, but you are your brand in many cases, especially as you go online. And if you don't have the skills and the know-how to do that, get with somebody that has done it before and that's doing it well, even despite what's happening in the world, that can help you. I think that's only going to help our industry, and it's going to help keep our clients healthy and well when, again, we need it most. We need to protect everybody from COVID and even all the mental, health issues that are developing because of it.
yeah, we were talking, Reena, about choosing, how do we choose somebody? How do we find that mentor? And I was inspired, like Todd, you had said, you could have mentors for different aspects of your life. Reena, how do you help somebody, find a mentor?
Yeah, I think it depends. I think the first thing is to understand what that person's objectives and goals are. Are you looking for a mentor to help you on the personal side. Maybe you really need to get your mindset in the right space because you are defeated and depleted from what's been going on. And before you can, help other people, you need to have a mentor to help you help yourself. So I think identifying that goal right now, are you suffering the most on the personal front, or is your business suffering and you really need somebody to help you with your finances, or somebody to help you with your strategy or the operations of your business as you shift it from studio to online, and getting somebody, that can help you in those areas. So I think once you identify what it is that you need help with, then you can go about through your professional network, through people that you trust, that you've worked with in the past, through different organizations like SCW Fitness, to be able to help you identify, a little plug for SCW, but to help you to find the right mentor for that season in your life. And maybe they'll end up being a long-term mentor, but maybe they will be there for that chapter. And that's something that you'll be able to determine as time goes on.
Mm-hmm.
And Kimberly, before we turn the camera on or let everybody in, you were chatting about how you also, not only do you have this great wealth of knowledge from the Inspired Life and mentor people, and we had talked a little bit about the life coaching, but when you get to an area where you as a mentor didn't have the expertise, you had the resources to point people in the right direction.
Yeah, I think it's really important if you are going to step into the space as a mentor and a coach. And I just also want to back up and high five Todd and Reena for their comments so far, because we are in uncharted territory. All of you on the call, you are superheroes in my book, because we are in an industry that has been devastated by this pandemic in a huge way. And many of you have gone overnight from having a place to go where you train clients, where you teach classes, and then being thrust into the unknown. Do I go virtual? Do I start teaching classes? What do I do? And so the idea of having a mentor that maybe is a little bit further down the path than you are at this time, that can kind of help guide you and can see your potential that maybe you can't see for yourself right now. It is so key. It is so key. And yes, I personally work with multiple mentors, and then I have an area of focus where I mentor and coach people. And I had an example that I had shared where I had a client that I focused on personal branding, marketing, and then holistic well-being. So personal development, growth, leadership, spirituality, that whole gambit. They really wanted to dive into social media. So I wanted to reach out to my contacts to ensure I connected her with someone that I knew she could trust, to then mentor her on elements around social media so that she could have success there. So if you're going to step into the mentorship space, link up with other coaches and mentors so that you can create kind of a network of who specializes in what's in your wheelhouse versus what's in other people's wheelhouses, so that you can really help people on a larger scale.
Yeah.
And I love what you're saying here. The other thing that I keep kind of picking from you guys is the fitness industry has been devastated, but all of us on this call who are in the fitness industry, you all are mentors. Your students, your personal training clients. It's like, my husband teases me. He's like, give. That's like, like I'm the most generous person in the world. Like, not, but it's like, give. And that's what we do. And sometimes what we forget is what we need in taking care of ourselves.
Yeah.
And so we let ourselves be depleted. And it is a roller coaster out there. 2020, I've never experienced anything like this. Nobody has in their lives. And we're the givers. And it's kind of, we get also, I would feel kind of stuck. I don't have any place to give. Like I stopped teaching. I just went back to teaching. I'm so excited. I teach at the YMCA. I teach my yoga class Tuesday and Thursday mornings. And it just feeds my soul because I'm able to give. But it's also because I have a good friend, a mentor that talks to me and say, why don't you go back and do something you love for yourself? Yeah. So
Sarah, can I mention something?
Yes.
This is important, guys. I think we all have to realize we all wear two hats. As a trainer, as a coach, regardless of your role inside your business, brick and mortar or not, is that we are mentoring people every single day, whether you know it or not, and your words are really powerful. I was on a call earlier today with a young high school athlete who has taken up a really bad habit in the last 9 months. And I was mentoring this young man, just as any trainer, any one of you would be mentoring. But there's times, if I can step you back to March and April and May, when just like all of you, I was like, man, what's next? I think as a mentor, you often sometimes are alone and you're lonely. And that's a reminder for all of us is we've got to dial in that sometimes when you're a mentor, it's a lonely world. And it's sometimes you're trying to make decisions and you don't know the right answer. And you're waiting around like, what's the right answer? What's the right answer? You don't know. That's when you have to pick up the phone and call a colleague, call a friend, call a mentor of someone. Now you put on the hat of, I've got to make some strategic decisions and pivot fast to impact the people I'm coaching or training or this industry, whatever it is. So I want to remind you that, all of these emotions that we're feeling, we still have to do one thing: save lives, change lives. Like Sarah, you're saying, that was my motto: save lives, change lives, save lives, change lives. And whatever your mission is in life, you got to dial in now. But there's always that little tickle. What's next? How do I pivot? Do I go to social media? Do I develop my online brand? Do I start a podcast? Do I create a book? What's next? I think we're in major search mode. All of us, like, what can I do to create maximum impact in my life? So I think, all you, Reena, Kim, Sarah, I think we're all on the right wavelength here. But I just want to acknowledge all of you. And Sarah, you mentioned this, is you got to wear two hats. And you're giving, but that's tiring. It's energy draining. So reminder to take care of yourselves. How do you do that? You keep learning. You keep reading. You keep diving into online programs, whether, SEW or any other program. You got to keep up your best practices. All of us, each and every one of us, whether you're new in this industry or you're a 25-year vet, it's just imperative. So yeah, Agnes, thank you. Guys, drop your comments in the chat box, because most people, all of us, are in major search mode. And the question comes back to your purpose as a mentor and a mentoree. How can I create maximum impact based on my divine purpose? Period. Now make the bold moves that need to be made in 2021 that you need to make. Your mentors are probably going to kick your butt, like we're going to kick Sarah's book to get the book out that she needs to write to impact this universe. So Sarah, get
And I want to say, based off of what Todd is saying, I wholeheartedly agree. Kimberly mentioned as well social media and how she's, recommended people for her clients. I think we all need to look at, in the health and fitness industry, yes, there's nothing like meeting with clients in person and teaching fitness classes in person, right? We all have been doing it for many years. It feeds my soul too. I agree with you, Sarah. But I think the thing that we need to also remember is there is a huge opportunity for all of us to reach people across the world when we take it online. There are no boundaries. So I think that's where also that mentorship with people that can remind you of, yes, there's a lot of things that we have lost in the industry and that we don't know when we're going to get back. But in the interim, let's take advantage of the opportunity in front of us to reach as many people as we can and help as many people as we can across the world, because now we don't have physical boundaries. And that's something hopefully we will take with us even post-pandemic. And we will look to mentors to help us to keep those virtual elements of our business intact, because you're not going to want to lose all those people and those clients that you may not have met otherwise had it not been for this pandemic. So just remember the opportunities that this is presenting for all of us in this industry.
And I totally agree with you. I love this. Julia said, my mentor was Randy in Chicago. He was the king of step in the 90s, and I was in the front row of his class. And I don't think we even realize who we influence.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we realize who we touch. I had a client that was taking my jazz funk class. Yes, it was in the 90s. And yes, I wore a thong with lace tights and a baseball belt. Humiliating, I know. And her mother had passed away, and nobody knew anything about her personal life. And she had missed class the previous week. And I was like, Barbara, where were you? And she started crying. And she goes, my mom passed away from cancer. I was her caregiver. And Sarah, it was you that kept me alive during this whole, and I'm like, I didn't know anything. She would come to my jazz funk class at the East Bank Club, but you don't know who you influence out there.
This is a really good point that you bring up, Sarah, if I could jump in on that,
yes,
because
please.
all of you, in this industry, this is an industry of service. We are difference makers. We are the uplifters, the nurturers, and we want to be the mentors, the coaches, the guides, you know, use them all interchangeably. We want to be that for people, regardless of what your role is in the industry. That's why we're in this industry. And what you have to decide for yourself, you know, can continue the search. If you're still in search mode, awesome. That means your mind, your heart is open. Do it. Decide, okay, what is it that I really want to do? This may be the first time in years, in eons, you've even had an opportunity to ask the question, what do I really want to do? And you have to remember that opportunity is typically born out of uncertainty. And these are definitely uncertain times. So as you're searching and you find that purpose, you find that desire that starts to speak to you that says, maybe I want to go online, maybe I want to become a life coach, or I want to become a personal trainer. Then the question is, because you're going to continue on the path of service, you're going to continue being the difference maker because it's just who you are. Now the question is, who do I need in my corner? Who do I need in my corner that's going to help me be more successful when I go out there into the world to help other people? That's what you need to ask yourself. I'm out there filling everyone else's cup. Who's going to fill my cup?
And they do this with therapists. You have, you know, you have to be in therapy to give therapy. And one of the things, Kimberly and I were I was going to say, Kimberly and I were talking. We weren't talking. We were going back and forth with like 10,000 emails, but we were talking about the life coaching aspect. And we were talking, you know, there's no like governmental requirement or licensure to be a life coach, to be a mentor. Okay. But we do need systems and we do need trainings for this. And going to an expert, going to someone who's been doing this, who for a long time, it really helps. Rita was saying in the chat box, she's 50 plus and she's like, what's going to go next? You know, and you're not alone, Rita, you're not alone, because I can't even remember the date. Maybe Lieber knows the date for our active aging summit. We're doing one in
March
27th,
28th.
yeah, really. It's a little slower there, but we're all looking for something to do. So what advantages does one get from having a mentor versus those that do not? Like,
this is huge because a mentor plays such an important role for you. I mean, call it a mentor, a coach, whatever you want to call it. It's just semantics, but they can see your blind spots. We all have blind spots. We're in the arena. We're playing full out. We can't always see our blind spots. So a mentor is going to help you with that. The reason a mentor can see your potential and help you take steps toward that potential is because they're not attached to your story. They're not attached to your narrative about who you are, about what you're capable of, and what you're supposed to be able to do. They can just see all the possibilities and then help you create a plan to get there, and then be that red phone person to help you bounce ideas and such on the path. It's huge.
I love that. And when you were talking, Kimberly, earlier, you were talking about, you know, they don't know your story. Explain what that means. Like something about who that, like your sister, whatever.
Right. Yeah. I think one thing that's important, because I've had some clients I've worked with that said, well, at first I started with, you know, my sister is also a coach. So I had her coaching me, or, you know, I tried just leaning on a best friend. And the challenge with that is if people are too close to you, it's hard for them to be objective. Just like for the same reason, you can't coach yourself. That's why coaches need coaches, mentors need mentors. If you're focused on trying to get to a vision that you have for your life, and yet you're telling a story in your head that you're not capable, that you're not good enough, whether you're conscious of it or not, you are going to stand in your way the entire time. Whereas if you find a mentor that you can trust and start to have conversations with, who can see the possibility for you and help you understand that those are just limiting beliefs. And a belief is just a thought you keep thinking, which means it is your choice to stop thinking the thought and to think something new. And a mentor that's just a blind spot. A mentor can help us dial into that so that we can consciously choose to see things differently and open up new paths.
Go ahead,
I
Reena.
agree, Kimberly. Yeah. And I was just going to say, I think it also allows you to get a fresh perspective. I love what you said, Kimberly. If it's somebody who knows you, they're a little bit more attached to your story. They're also attached to maybe your own insecurities that they know you have, or your preconceived notions of yourself. And if you have somebody coming in from the outside, they can look at you with a clean slate, and they can see possibilities that maybe you can't see. They can give you advice and insights that you may not have otherwise thought of. And I think they can also provide you with a new network, which, I mean, let's face it, we all need to continue to grow and build our networks, especially right now in this industry. And so a mentor can open doors for you that you might not have been able to open up for yourself.
Mm.
I think that's key. Todd?
I would say time, money, and clarity. That's what a mentor will do for you. Because let me start with the clarity part. If you don't know where you're going, you're going to be busy being busy. And the next thing you know, after 6 months, a year, or a few years, you've been spinning the wrong wheel. Clarity on your purpose, pulling your purpose out, getting on paper and having a structure. I think mentors can help you really get clarity on what you want out of life. The time aspect, if you go to a mentor who's been there, done that, and is still doing it, and has I don't even want to say made tens of thousands of dollars of mistakes, but it could be more than that. I know I made lots of mistakes. But the time that you can save somebody from making the mistakes that you've done because of writing a book, or starting a podcast, or starting a brick and mortar business, or going online, that's time. And one thing that I want right now is time. I want more time with my family. I want more time when I'm in my business. I'm working on the right stuff. And ultimately, at the end of the day, you've got to have a profit in your business so we can keep doing what we want. So mentors are going to help you say, I wouldn't focus on that. 2 days ago, I had a very deep, hard discussion with one of my mastermind members, who I actually told her that she should not go down the world of online because of what her purpose is, right? So it's not like, hey, well, everything's going online, so let's go online. No. What's your purpose? Get clear on that. Get the time, how much you want to structure your day, and then let's find that so you can create the lifestyle that you want. So for me, mentors are going to help with time, money, and clarity.
Yeah, and I like that. I think it was Julia wrote something about boundaries, that boundaries are important, because sometimes if you're talking to someone that's part of your family, like, your sister or something like that, you don't want to tell some of these innermost thoughts that you have, or the experience, what's going negative in your life. So getting those boundaries, finding someone on the outside that can help you um, figure out what your big questions are as well. I think that that's key.
With the sister thing, y'all know this, free doesn't work, by the way. If you want a mentor, like, it's cool, but if you want to invest in something, like if you invest in a course, you're showing up and you're doing the work. And I know this for me personally, if I want something done, I'm going to put money on the line, and I don't come from money. So I'm like, I'm not going to waste the money, but if it's free, weeks go by, months go by, nothing gets done. If I invest in something, a coach, and I have many coaches, have had many coaches. If I invest in a course, a program, a retreat, like, I'm going to get the best out of going to a retreat or something if I invest it versus been given to me. So invest in yourself with whatever that is, whether it's a course, whether it's a retreat, whether it's a program, a mastermind, a coaching mentor, whatever it is. Invest in someone or something that you believe will give you value, because when you put your money where your mouth is, you're going to take more action. You're going to get the butt glue that you need to sit down and do what you say you want to do.
I
And
agree.
Todd, you bring up a really good point, because to go back to the point of clarity, whether it's a course, a mastermind, a one-on-one mentor, they're going to help you build confidence to take action.
100%.
Action then breeds more confidence and more clarity, because
Yeah.
every step you take, every choice you make, every action you put into play is either going to be a win that you get to celebrate, or perhaps a fall that you then get to learn from, which I think is to be celebrated too. And so that confidence to just start to take the steps in the right direction is so powerful and so important. So you got to
Amen.
look for that. And you're right, you got to invest in it.
Shout out Lawrence Biscontini. Speaking of mentors right there, fine Lawrence.
Hey,
Thanks for the
Lauren.
comment right there. There's a mentor who continues to learn. He's showing up on a webinar to learn, and he's a great mentor. So Lawrence, you're the bomb. Thank you.
And I do think that, yeah, investing in mentorship also allows you to work with somebody who's trained to get you to figure out your purpose and your why and what your intrinsic motivators are, right? Because until you can identify those things, it's going to be hard to make the changes that you need and to take the actions. As Kimberly was saying, we need to take the actions, but we're not going to be motivated to take the actions until we know our why. And I think a mentor that's trained and that you're investing in and paying for is able to help you get to that, which sometimes we're just afraid to go there ourselves, and we need somebody to pull it out of us.
Totally.
Yeah, I was before you guys came on. I was talking about the book, and Kimberly asked a question. She just said one thing: why do you want to do it? And it was like, oh my gosh, I got to be honest with you, that already motivated me. So I do believe finding a mentor is incredibly important, but how do I find the right mentor? How do I figure out, my needs, my career? How do I find the right mentor? And have you guys had experiences where it's like you meet somebody and very quickly you're able to propel them, or it's just like, this doesn't work, this relationship is not working?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of what are your goals and objectives? Is it personal? Is it professional? Who's going to help you get there? But it's also, is there a connection, right? Is there a personality match? Because in order to work with somebody, you do have to mesh well. You do have to trust one another and feed off of each other's energy. And different personalities work well and others may not. So I think it's, leaning on people in your network, leaning on people that you trust. Maybe people can make recommendations of somebody that could be a good fit because they know you and who you are as a person, but they also know your goals. So I do think it's a task that's going to take a little bit of work. And maybe we were talking about searching. It might take some searching to get to the right person or people if you need multiple mentors, but invest the time and energy to do that so that you can eventually work with the right person who's really going to help change your life and change your business.
And Kimberly, you're nodding.
Yeah. For me, the path that I've taken is I've found, you can pretty much find anyone online, right? We can find Todd, we can find Reena, we can find Sarah, we can find SCW, we can find all of you. No, I'm just kidding. But we can find everyone online. So could you take just a little bit of time to find people who you've seen on social media or that you are aware of through the industry or through others who have worked with them, and look at what they're posting, look at what they're saying, look at what their message is. Does it resonate? That's going to be key. So for example, I had heard about a great mentor one time. I went to check him out as a business mentor, and he was very much about like the hard work, hustle, struggle. That's not my way. My way is, yeah, it's challenging, but we can find ease through the challenge. And that's the path I choose to take. It's just a different mindset and a different philosophy. And so I was able to find out pretty quickly just from their, Instagram and Facebook posts that, okay, that's not the right mentor for me. And then see if they have any group options or pre-recorded options. Can you take a workshop with them? Can you take one of their courses? Can you join some kind of group coaching or mastermind so that you can get to know them from being a part of their community? Then you're going to get to see what their message or hear what their message is, and you're going to feel it, and you're going to know whether or not it resonates for you. You're going to get to see their coaching and teaching style, because that makes a big difference as to whether or not you'll really get benefit from it. You've got to be open to it, and you'll get to be able to determine what their focus is. Is their focus business? Is it marketing? Is it personal development? Is it mindset? Is it a couple different things? And then based on what it is that you feel drawn to, you can determine if you want to work more closely with that coach. But check out some courses and workshops first and see whose message and style resonates for you.
You're right. There's so much stuff out there, which is great. Todd, you're nodding.
Well, I think I'm going to go back into the trenches again, because that's where I love to be. Is why do people show up to your classes? Why do people train with you? Because you touch their heart or their soul in some way, right? It's the same way as a mentor. Some way, typically a mentoree sees a mentor. They see something about them in that mentor. There's something in that mentor they see themselves in that person, that man or that woman. they maybe aspire to be something like that, or to do an event, or to have a personality, whatever it may be. They see something they resonate with. And go back to the clarity point. You need to make sure that mentor can help take you down a path that can help you where you want to go. So depending on who you are, what you're all about, if you're designed to, motivate, educate, and inspire, who are you attracting? If you want to write a book, you want to create a podcast, you want to get the brick and mortar studio again, you want to transition, or the 2021 guys and gals, guys, training is more alive than ever, whether it's online or like, come a few months from now, one-on-one training is going to boom. People want small. So don't be ballyhooed by all of the, the social media aspects that many of us are involved with. If that's what you're supposed to do, then do it. But if you love training, then man, stick to what you love to do and your purpose on that stuff. But as far as finding a mentor, you got to find a mentor that can help you go to where you want to go. And you probably see something in her or him that says, you know what, I could be more like her. I could be more like him. And there's something that she gets the best out of me, or he gets the best out of me. That's what we all want.
Yeah, and I do like Mark and Wendy McCormick. They said personality, core values, their success stories,
Amen.
ability to help you in your journey.
True.
So I think that is key. And my window is open, and I'm listening to somebody write a book.
Love the music you play, Julia. You're awesome, you guys.
I also think helping you overcome your fears of doing something, right? Like Todd was saying, and you're saying, Sarah, I think Kimberly as well, like somebody that you aspire to be like, that maybe have gone through something that you also want to go through. Like I know for me, I'm writing a book, and my book is coming out this year. And I was telling these guys beforehand, I still have fears about it. Like, is it going to help people the way that I want? Is it going to be well received? I'm going to be vulnerable in this book and put myself out there. And so I've leaned on mentors in the publishing industry that have been through that, and they've helped me overcome my fears. I have a writing coach, right? And so she's kind of said, I love what you're saying. And if you aren't vulnerable, you're not going to be able to make the impact that you want to have. And she's been through that. So I think having somebody that's walked through that path that seems really scary to you right now will also be somebody that you may be a good fit for, because they can say, hey, come with me. I've done this. I've overcome the fear, and I can help you overcome yours as well.
Now, Reena, how do you go about if you want to change mentors?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think it's, I think Kimberly was mentioning, doing an online course or doing a workshop first. I think that's a really great start. And I think maybe even sort of setting up the expectations up front, saying maybe we could do a 30-day or 60-day or 90-day trial just to see how well we work together. And if I'm the right client for you and you're the right mentor for me, I think communication and honesty is really important. And as we know, it takes time to develop trust, especially with somebody that's a mentor. That's a very personal relationship. Even if it's a professional mentor, it's still a personal relationship. So I would expect that most mentors would be understanding of the fact that you want to test things out. They probably want to test things out right along with you, so you can see if it's a good relationship. And if for whatever reason it's just not working, I think there are very kind ways to break up with the mentor, if you will. It doesn't have to be, it's not me, it's not you, it's me. It could just be, you know what, I think this was really helpful for this chapter or this initial stage, but I think I'm going to look for somebody that can help me with this. So I think it's just being, again, very upfront, being very communicative, setting expectations, and then just being very kind in how you part ways if you think it's not the right fit. I will say never ever burn any bridges, because you never know when you might work with somebody or come into contact with somebody again. The health and fitness industry is a small one. So keep relationships positive as much as you can, and keep in touch with those people, because even if they're not the right fit and you get to the end of that 90-day trial, they could recommend you to somebody who could be. So that would be my recommendation.
Excellent, excellent. And what type of mentor should I look for? Should I focus on my business or my own personal needs? This was a question that somebody had asked.
Kim, go ahead.
I think it really depends on what you feel you need direction. I mean, and the fact of the matter is, you may be able to find a mentor that can help in multiple areas. So I think the first step is think about where you want to go okay, as you're doing this search and you're trying to decide, you're asking that's the key, is ask the right questions. You ask the right questions, you are going to live the life of your dreams, I'm telling you. And if the questions are, what sparks joy in my heart, not how am I going to survive this, that puts you into survival mode. And then the focus is only staying away from the negative. Get yourself into thriving mode. What sparks joy inside me? What could I see myself doing for the next many years because it makes me want to jump out of bed? Who do I want to help? And once you determine what that is, then based on your current set of skills, for example, Reena has a background in business and in the digital world, so she probably wouldn't need a business coach, but perhaps she's worked with a mindset coach before, or something along those lines. For me, I very much needed a business coach. Reena, I wish I had your number 3 years ago.
Oh, call me anytime. You probably have it all figured out, but I'm here if you need me.
Yeah, so for me, I was on the search for a business coach based on what I know I wanted to do. And if, as a fitness professional, let's say, for example, your desire, the call you're feeling on your heart is to go online yourself and maybe lead some workshops or creative challenges for people, or create your own course, or lead a coaching group of some kind, well, then look around. You're not going to have to look far to find people in your own industry who are already doing it. And then you may be able to match up with a mentor that has already gone down the road and, as Todd mentioned, made the mistakes, the very costly mistakes that will allow them to be the person that can guide you down that same path to find success without falling into all the potholes.
It's really interesting because at SCW, we always do what we call learnings after every event that we do, or any project when it ends. And you know what it really is? It's really, we're lifting up all the mistakes. It's just like we're reviewing every single mistake, and it's a learning. And like you said, Kimberly, it's valuable. And like you said, Reena, this is where we grow from. So it's sharing these learnings, I think, are key. And I'm going to venture out here. I'm going to say that every one of you has probably had like a huge experience in your life that you weathered that storm, and being able for that to be able to make you stronger is an amazing accomplishment, and it makes you feel even stronger and want to reach back and pull somebody up with you. And that's the inspiration I get from all of you guys, and you're all nodding like,
yeah. Well, yeah, thank you, Sarah. I would say this, I'm a little different in the sense of when it comes to business coaching versus personal development, I'm a personal growth junkie that I believe precedes business coaching. I think, what do you want out of life? You got to figure out what makes the juices flow. And you got, like, if I was like, what do you want out of life? And you can dream of your vision of what you really truly want out of life, then we can go into the business coaching side of things. Because what happens is so many people get business coaching, but they haven't unblocked their own limitations, their limiting beliefs, their thoughts that are going to hold them back from being a great leader or business owner, whatever it is. So to me, you got to have major breakthroughs in your personal growth before you become a great entrepreneur. You know, you can only go as far as you grow, right? And I believe it starts with your personal growth. And then you bring in the business side because your vision's bigger. The X's and O's of business, listen, there's a lot of great coaches out there can provide the X's and O's of business, but ultimately it's usually the people, it's yourself that holds you back. It's your fear. It's your limited vision and thinking that's holding you back. So we got to break through those things. So I'm a big believer that the personal growth precedes the business side. Now, it doesn't mean we can't get the business side. Absolutely. But if there's stuff that's holding you back, you got to break through those things.
yeah. And
Tony Robbins always says that your success is 20% strategy, 80% mindset. So I think you should get your mind right.
There you go.
Looks like that.
There you go. You got to change your story and your state before your strategy. You got to change your state of mind. You got to change your state of mind and your story. The story you keep telling yourself, why business is failing, the pandemic is killing me. No doubt it is. Then change your state of mind of how you're going to adapt, what you're going to create, how you're going to pivot, what you're going to do to possibly pivot and shift based on your purpose in life. So now you change your state of mind. You change the story that you keep telling yourself day after day of how woe is the economy and everything else that it is. Then you create a strategy last based on that. That's why I say I do the opposite. Because right now I'm literally finishing up my annual roadmap and strategic plan. Before that strategy happens, you got to change that. That's anyone. That's Kim, to your point, Tony, and I've studied Tony extensively. And like many of you, he's a mentor of mine who I don't work directly with, but I've consumed all of his content, all of his products and programs, just like some of you have consumed, some of us on the call. We don't even know some of you, but between products, programs, like you're always learning. To me, it goes state, story, strategy.
And I also think that, especially as health and fitness professionals, we are our brands, right? At the end of the day, you are the brand. It's not just your company, but it's you. It's your blood, sweat, and tears that you put into the company and what you put out into the world and to your clients. And so that's where I do agree with what everybody is saying, that maybe you need the business coach, but you really do need that personal coach as well to really bring the best out of you. I mean, a funny story with me, I have been teaching fitness classes since I was a freshman in college in the 90s, not to date myself, but at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. And I was known as Reena the fitness instructor all the way back then. And through all of my professional experiences and now getting back into the health and fitness industry as an entrepreneur, that's a big part of my identity and a big part of my brand. But I've also had to reflect on how my love and my passion for health and fitness has not only helped me to help other people, but it's gotten me through difficult times in my life. It's something that I used as a stress management tool and as a way to get mentally tough and strong and to compete in fitness competitions and do all these different things that I have done over the years. But it's a part of my identity, and that's now a part of my business. And therefore the coaching that you need to get needs to be spanning across both. So it's not one or the other for sure.
Not one or the other. I agree. All right, guys, we're going to end this webinar with
really quickly, Sara, I'm so sorry, but really quickly, I just want to shout out to Julia.
Okay.
I apologize, but she just put up pivot is the word. Mike, I'm so sorry. And I just want to honor this because she put pivot as the word of the year. And I just want to bring up the true definition of pivot is to change directions without losing one's center. You still get to be who you are and maybe just make some shifts to show up differently for people. It's possible. You got this. Sorry.
I agree with you. And I also think, I always say, like, we've been pivoting forever. SCW started, there were no computers. Okay. I had a typewriter. There were no cell phones. It was a landline. There were no fax machines. There wasn't, what is www? My kid asked me the other day. I'm like, World Wide Web, I'm going to strangle you. Anyway, it's just, we're all pivoting. We're just pivoting faster right now. All right. So I'm going to end with one of Mike Lieber's wonderful videos. We have our personal training conference coming up at the end of this month, Personal Training Apex. Very cool. All right, guys, I want to thank you all for joining us. Thank you, Kimberly Spreen-Glick. Thank you, Reena Ice Cream. And thank you, thank you, Todd Durkin. He did shower. No worries there. Thank you all for joining us. We really appreciate it. I want you all to have a good night and stay healthy, wear a mask, get a vaccine. Thank you.
Mine right, baby.